Stop chasing trends unless you want to end up broke. See, trends change constantly. The things people are wearing this year are completely different than what they were wearing last year. So by the time that you do your research, find a product, get it online, and start your business, that trend might already be out the door. And then you're left again wondering, what do I sell? This is why so many people fail. You are looking at what's relevant now instead of what's going to continuously sell. So, in this video, I'm going to discuss three important things that you need to know in order to sell something all year round. Because, after all, that's what you want: continuous cash flow. So, let's dive into this. See, the reason most people fail is because they're not exactly sure what to sell. They want to make money, but what product to sell is the most difficult thing to come up with. So you end up researching for endless amount of hours, which eventually leads you to finally finding a product that you think will sell. However, the product itself didn't catch your eye. It was the design on that product. And that is the biggest mistake that so many sellers make. Everyone is looking at the things that are relevant now. And even if you look at the stuff that's going to be popular in a couple months, such as Halloween items, they will only sell during Halloween. When Halloween is over, so is the money. So this is going to be your first lesson. Stop looking at the designs and instead start looking at the products themselves. You need to start with what the customer needs. If you focus on what a customer needs, the rest will simply fall into place. I'll give you an example of a few categories that will always sell. Items for babies, weddings, birthdays. These are bulletproof sales choices because there's always a baby being born, a birthday happening, or a wedding about to take place. So if you find something in one of those categories that you want to sell, more than likely that item is going to sell all year round. The second lesson is, as soon as you figure out what product that you want to sell, don't immediately think about what's trending now, because then you're still going to end up in the same situation. You would continuously have to update that product in order for it to sell. Instead, you need to think of a way to make it a classic. This is where creativity comes into play. For instance, coming up with a funny saying and then adding the person's name ends up being a great birthday gift and is usually a top seller online. No matter what category it's in, people will purchase it, whether it's on candles, mugs, t-shirts, pretty much anything. It's universal because it makes the person purchasing it laugh. The consumer went online to search for something that was funny as a birthday gift, and they ended up purchasing your item. Now, skip a few months later, and guess what's still selling? That item. It will never go out of style. The third lesson is to make sure that your product stands out. After you find the product that you want to sell, and you determine who you're exactly targeting, the next thing is how you display that product. For example, if you're selling a coffee mug, if you notice, most of the top sellers have their mugs in someone's hand. This is because you want the consumer visualizing themselves with that product. This triggers a consumer's emotional impulse buy. They stop scrolling because they found your item intriguing. Now you captivated them visually and emotionally. You've already won the battle. They clicked on your product. Now you just need to close the deal, which comes down to pricing and how fast they get it. Now, sure, you may say, well, George, if it was a trending item, they would stop more often. And this is true. But here's the problem. You're competing against thousands of other people that have already had that item online and have been making continuous sales. A perfect example of this would be politics. There are already 250,000 products on Etsy about the upcoming election. You are already behind the ball, which reminds me of another huge trend that happened a few years ago. Fidget spinners. Everybody saw them. Everybody knew what they were. They were everywhere. and people jumped on them. The first people that started selling them made millions. But by the time that you saw that that trend was happening and how much money it was bringing in, the market was already dominated and over. Within 6 months, fidget spinners were gone. And the people that jumped in at the end, they were left with thousands of unsold inventory. See, by the time that you recognize a trend is actually happening, it may already be over. You don't know how long that trend is actually going to stay. And what's even worse is if you did want to just change trends, you will spend more time analyzing your items and the market than your consumers are actually going to spend. So you're putting in twice the amount of work for something that will eventually die. So keep that in mind. I hope that this video shed some light on why chasing trends is a horrible idea. So thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, definitely leave me a comment below. You know I love to hear from you. Talk to you soon.
You're gonna delete that, right?
Yeah, I'll delete it.